Story time of my first high school party. So this was back when I was in grade 9 and it was the springtime. So one weekend I was hanging out with two of my girlfriends at their house, and one of my friends had an older brother who was at a party. I knew my friend's brother from previous years in elementary school because we used to have the same teacher. And the party was at these sand dunes, which were known as the pits, which were right beside my high school. And since my friend lived really close to the school, all three of us decided to walk there and check it out. So we walked to the pits and we got there and we met up with my friend's brother who was there with a group of his friends. So we got there and the three of us were just kind of mingling, and eventually we were talking with a group of girls, but then my two girlfriends wanted to leave. Because this was my first high school party, I was really excited. So I was there for like an extra 20 minutes and I was talking with the girls that I had met and my friend's brother who I had known, and we were just kind of chatting and catching up. He left the group and I was still with all the girls, and then a few minutes later I hear a bunch of yelling right behind me from a group of guys. The music got shut off and it was really dark, so I couldn't see anything at first. So I turned around because of all the yelling behind me, and my guy friend was on the ground and there were three other guys pulling another guy off him. At first I didn't know what happened, but then I saw my friend lying in the sand clutching his stomach, and it turns out the kid who had jumped him had and also injured two others. Back in grade 9, I was taking a first aid course at my school that semester. So I was the only person who knew first aid, and I went to go help my friend. There were a few people who had stayed behind to help, but most of the people had already fled the party. There was a guy who was helping my friend, and he took off his hoodie, so I used that to put it on his stomach. So luckily the cops got called really fast and they were there in less than 15 minutes, and all three of the kids who got injured ended up going to the hospital. After everyone was safe, I was in shock, so I ended up going into the bush and I was on the phone with my two girlfriends who were at home, and we were all crying because I told them what happened because it was a lot. Luckily, all three of the kids who were injured made a full recovery and they were completely fine. And then my friend's mom came to pick me up and she drove me home, and then I told my mom what happened, and yeah. But it was a really traumatic first high school party experience.